Good afternoon, Miss. I'm Christian Emaceda, and today I will discuss the topic number 11, which is meeting the client for the catering event. When meeting the client for a catering event, you can introduce your business, discuss the event, and present a catering proposal. You can also ask questions to determine if the client is good or fit for your service. The event will help dictate the menu and service style and further determine the following: foods to be purchased, staffing requirements, equipment requirements, transportation for food equipment and even guests, facility layout and space utilization, decor for buffet and food station, food production and preparation requirements, beverage both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. So for foods to be purchased, when a catering, you can purchase a variety of foods including pasta, sandwich, meats, salad, and finger foods. You can also consider offering specially dishes to suit your catering business. For staffing requirements, catering staffing requirements include understanding food safety, communication well the team, and providing good customer service. You should also consider your budget, guest capacity, and the type of service you offer. For equipment requirements, catering equipment requirements include cooking equipment, shopping dishes, freezer, mixer, serving equipment, and tableware. For transportation needs for food equipments and events guests, catering transportation needs include containers, coolers, hand truck, and trolleys. These tools help keep food and drinks at the right temperature and transport heavy loads. Facility layout and space utilization. So, for facility layout and space utilization in catering is the design of a space to maximize efficiency and service while ensuring guest comfort and safety. For decor, for buffet and food station. Buffet and food station decor can include a variety of elements such as lighting backdrops and seasonal decoration. Food production and preparation requirements. Food production and preparation in catering requires following strict hygiene and safety standards to prevent contamination and ensure food is safe to eat. So the next topic is beverage, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Catering events often include both alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverage. Some example of this beverage include wine, still sparkling, fortified or aromatized, beer ales, lager stouts, cider made from fermented apple juice, distilled spirit, vodka, gin, rum, whiskey, brandy, and others. Liquors flavored with fruit, citrus, herb, kernel, flower, cream, or berry. Tea, green, black, or herbal. Coffee, express coffee, or iolite, or cappuccino. Aerated water, carbonate, soda, or flavored. Fruit juices, freshly squeezed or prepared. Mineral waters, natural or manufactured mixer. Cordials or syrups for sweetening and flavor mixed drinks. The next topic is what caterers should ask clients. By asking these questions first, wasting time discussing details for an event this is not feasible would be avoided. Suggested questions include what is the overall purpose of the event? So above all else, you want your guests to be having a great time more than you are, and the caterer will ensure their needs are attended to without you needing to intervene. Next question, is there a particular theme in mind and what kind of mood is hoped to be achieved? So when planning catering, having a theme and mood in mind helps create a cohesive and memorable experience for your guest. The theme and mood should align with the purpose of the event and the preference of your audience. Next one is what is the budget for this event? So the budget for catering will depend on several factors including the number of guests, the type of event, and the menu and the level of service desired. Next one is there a plan to serve liquor, beer or wine or a non-alcoholic beverage? Deciding on the beverage service is a crucial part of catering. uh, as it can significantly influence the mood and budget of your event. So next one is how many guests are expected. To determine the number of expected guests in catering, you need to check the client's confirmed guest list, which will specify the exact number of attendees for the event. So next one, for off-premise catering, is there a kitchen or other area for cooking? In off-premise catering, the cooking typically happens in dedicated kitchen located at the caterer's facility. Uh, Question about the group demographics for the event. Who are the guests? Are they male or female? Singles or couples? What is the age range? Are they fairly sophisticated partygoers? So, for this question, it depends on uh, the the person or the visitors of the this event. Next one is what type of service does the client want? Would guests be seated or at tables and serve, or would it be preferred to have a buffet or food station? Uh, Before catered event, guests will typically arriving registered mingling each other, possibly enjoying pre-event cocktails or appetizers and finding their seating, while after the event they will be socializing further, potentially participating in post-events activities like dancing, taking photos or enjoying dessert, and eventually departing. Next one is are there any particular foods that are wanted or not want of the menu? Are there any special dietary needs? Any socioeconomic, ethnic, or religious factors that might affect the menu? When the caterer arrives for the event setup, the guest will typically be at the event location, either already gathered or arriving shortly after the caterer begins setting up the food service area. Depending on the event schedule, there might be a need to arrange transportation for some guests to reach venue, especially if it's located in the remote area or requires special access. Next question is, are there any particular affiliations in this group that might affect the menu? You would not serve chicken or, for instance, to a cattleman's association or poor Pepsi products at a meeting of Coca-Cola bottlers. Yes, in catering, it is important to consider a group affiliations or professional associations that could influence menu choices. Next question is, who is the responsible party for billing? The responsible party for billing is typically the person or organizations that has contracted the service. This could vary depending on the event type and agreement. Next one is, when does the reception start? When will the meal be served? What time will be the event end? The reception start times typically refers to the time guests arrive at the event begins, often with cocktails or light appetizers. The timing of when the meal is served depends on the type of event and how it's structured. The end time of an event can vary based on the type of event, its schedule, and the venue rules. The next question is, do you need any signage? Yes, in catering event, signage can be important in catering to help guide guests and create a seamless experience. Next one is, what type of decoration does the client want? Color of linens, flowers, balloons, and etc. So the type of decorations a client might want for their event depends on the event's theme, tone, and personal preference. A clear understanding of their overall theme, color scheme, and desired vibe will help create a cohesive and visually appealing atmosphere. Next one is, will someone be setting this up, or will the caterer be responsible? The responsible for setting up decorations can vary depending on the client's preference, the scope of the event, and the service offered by the caterer. A detailed timeline and clear communication between the client, event planner, caterer, and other vendors will ensure that all the aspects of setup are covered and everyone knows what they're responsible for. Next one is, What type of china? In catering, the type of china used can vary depending on the style, formality, and event's theme. Choosing the right type of china depends on the event formality and budget and overall aesthetic. Next one is, what kind of room setup does the client want? Is there a formal seating chart? To determine kind of room setup the client wants, you would need to ask them specific question based on the type of event they are planning. And also there is formal seating chart depends on the type of and formality of the event. Next one is, are there any programs or other printed material that need to be distributed to guests? Uh, are telephone or computer hookups necessary? Telephone or computer hookups may not always be necessary, but they can useful depending on the event size and scope. In smaller, more straightforward uh, events, these hookups might not be required. However, for larger or more complex events, especially ones involving multiple vendors or service providers, having reliable communication options can definitely improve the flow of operation. Next one is, will there be a speaker? In catering event, whether or not there will be a speaker depends on the event's purpose. For corporate events, conference, or formal gatherings, there might be a designated speaker to give a presentation or speech. However, for more casual or social catering events like parties or celebration, a speaker might not be necessary unless the event involves entertainment or announcement. Next one, how many cars will be expected? Will the client pay for the parking or will the guest? The number of cars expected at the catering event depends on the size and type of the event. For example, a large corporate or wedding event might have many guests driving, while a smaller, more intimate gathering might have fewer cars. Uh, as for who pays for parking, this can vary depending on the event and the client's preference. So by asking this and other related questions, the caterer should be able to spark dialogue that begins the event planning process. The end result is an event that combines the client's wishes with the caterer's knowledge. Thank you.